So there is a rumor going around that Disney wants to buy Sega due to the success of the Sonic 3 movie and beating the crap out of the Mufasa movie. And I just if Disney buys Sonic, that is officially when I check out because that's when Sonic as a franchise is officially over. There will be no going back. Sonic will be done. You can pronounce it dead. It'll be dead in the water. Now, when it comes to the Sonic 3 movie, I guess I should preface by saying that I love Sonic. Sonic is one of my childhood favorite games. Especially Sonic Adventure 2. That one I grew up on. I have a distinct memory of when I was in kindergarten. I remember, and I don't even know if this actually happened or if I'm remembering it wrong, but I remember that I was in the playground and there was like a girl that was like getting picked on by a couple boys or something, and I was like, what would Sonic do? And then I like ran up and like grabbed her by the hand and like ran away, helped her run away from the dudes. Dudes. They were other toddlers, but you know, I was just like, I'm saving her. I'm saving this girl. And I was singing, like in my head I was singing the City Escape song, like the rolling around at the speed of sound, like that one, because that was like what I grew up on, and I loved Sonic, and I still love Sonic, and I draw him and I think about him all the time, to maybe an unhealthy amount. I think it's going to always be a special interest of mine. And I'm possibly autistic, so but at least with my ADHD, that's a thing where I, you know, kind of hyper-focus on something for a while. For a while it was Spider-Man when I was in high school, and then it was Splatoon, and then Sonic, and then Sonic again. Sonic always kind of comes back, like every once in a while. He'll kind of come back into my brain and just take over for a while. And this is one of those times when the Sonic 3 movie came out. And I went to go see it with my cousin, and let me tell you, oh my gosh, I was literally shaking with excitement in the theater. It was the first time I've ever been literally trembling from excitement, like in a movie theater. And if you don't want spoilers, this is not the video for you, because I just want to talk about it. But that there's your warning. But oh my god, when they played Live and Learn, I died. My cousin had to stop me from screaming in the theater because I started actually screeching with excitement and joy. It was so wild. See, part of the thing is that I'm so used to like corporations and stuff and companies just like ruining my favorite things that it's just almost so hard. It's almost doesn't feel real when a movie like Sonic 3 comes out and it's just so faithful to the source material, except for a few things I do want to talk about in another video. Sonic's character in the movies and how it is a bit different than Sonic originally was, but that's, I think, a topic for a different video. But I can't tell you how stoked I was in that theater, and then I went and watched it again with my parents, who for some reason decided to go with me, and my mom made a comment like, it's funny that you're just as excited as the 10-year-old kid in front of us. Because I think I was, and I was like, look, Mom, I mean, I'm pretty giddy right now, but this is nothing compared to when I watched it the first time. The first time I was giddy with Christmas joy when I was sitting in that theater. It was just I loved it. Well, especially because it was an adaptation loosely of Sonic Adventure 2, which I still play to this day. I play it all the time. I love Sonic Adventure 2. My favorite it's my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time. Zelda and Sonic will forever be my two favorite franchises, or at least video game things. I also felt like they really nailed down Shadow's character. I think the character that's probably the most accurate is probably Tails, but second to that was Shadow. Shadow was beautifully done. They really captured the essence of his character, and I like how they didn't just make him like simply an edgelord, like as people kind of think that Shadow is. I'm glad that they were able to accurately depict the kind of the emotional side of him and the backstory and everything. I also want to interject here. This is editing otaku again. I also want to interject here and just say, I loved how much Shadow had this constant kind of like angry wet cat expression. he every time Shadow was on screen, he looked almost exactly like my cat Momo. Like he looked like a Sonic the Hedgehog character version of my cat, because my cat is just my cat is a grumpy little boy, and he just has a constant just like wet, like again, angry wet cat expression. And that's just what like Shadow reminded me of, specifically in that one shot when Maria meets him for the first time, and he's in like the tube of liquid. That was just like the exact expression. So yeah. Anyway, Shadow's character, I gotta admit, there were a few times when I watched it where watching his scenes with Maria, I actually started to feel a little bit, like, not like a lot, but I started to kind of feel like, my eyes well up a little bit, just a tiny bit, you know. And I mean, if a movie makes me cry, I will openly sob watching the movie if it makes me cry. But but this movie didn't, I guess, bring me to that point, but it was getting there a few times. It was starting to make me cry a little bit. Also, Eggman's new suit that looks like the red tracksuit from the games. Perfection. I kind of wish that he wore it more than in the last like 30 minutes of the movie, but you know, I'll take it. I can deal. The Eggmanification process has been complete, and I guess it was a good send off for the character, though I feel like he might appear in Sonic 4. Which, by the way, they played Live and Learn in this one, right? I need them to play City Escape in Sonic 4. If anybody from the Sonic movie team is for some reason watching this video, please, I'm begging you, put City Escape in Sonic 4. Get the rights. I don't care how much money it takes. Get the rights and put it in there, because I will die a happy man. I will die a happier person when that happens. I also felt like the human characters were a lot better. I know a lot of people complained about the human characters in the last movie, which honestly didn't really bother me as much as it did other people. But I know a lot of people really hated the dance scene in Sonic 2. I actually kind of enjoyed it. Mostly, it was mostly because I found it really funny. I know there are people out there who don't think the Sonic movies are very funny, but when like the dude, like the Russian dude or whatever, he like throws off his jacket and the camera zooms in on a tattoo of himself throwing off his jacket. I thought that was actually really clever. I thought that was really funny, and I felt like this movie also delivered on the humor. I mean, there were a few jokes where I kind of was like rolling my eyes, like the konnichiwa part. That one was a little cringe. But I really liked the Robotnik dance scene, and I really I really loved how Gerald Robotnik died. I thought that was really hilariously anticlimactic. I love how he just like bug zapped out of existence, like just no fanfare, no music. It was just dead silence, and then psst, I thought that I laughed out loud in the theater. Everybody laughed at that one. Everybody laughed at that joke. There were a few jokes that, you know, not everybody laughed at, but everybody consistently laughed at that joke. But speaking of cringe, you know, see, there are people who are like, oh, the Sonic movies are kind of cringy. And to that I say, the cringe is part of the experience. I mean, you're watching a Sonic movie. Sonic's part of the appeal of Sonic has always been that he's a little bit cringe. Like, it's part of the experience. You can't have Sonic without having a little cringe. It's kind of just part of the character at this point, or the franchise, I suppose. There was like a kid, like a young teenager or something, like 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid. The first time I walked out of the movie, that I overheard being like, I don't know why that movie has such high ratings, and I was like, I wanted to be like, shut up. I wanted to be like, shut up. It's Sonic. Everybody loves Sonic. Sonic is awesome. I was kind of the annoying guy in the theater who couldn't stop, like, screaming and being obnoxious, I guess. But I did try to refrain myself. Also, it's like, you go to a freaking Sonic movie expecting great cinema? Like, nah, man, it's Sonic. You know, I mean, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great cinema, I guess. But it's not gonna be something that's like super, like, objectively great cinema. I thought it was subjectively awesome, and I had to watch it multiple times. There were also so many moments and Easter eggs that, like, to a non-Sonic fan would just be kind of like a nothing prop. But to me, as like a huge Sonic fan, I was giddy. Like the first few seconds into the movie, when they're on Prison Island, which is from the games, it's like stuff like that, like stuff that like nobody knows that's from the game unless they're a Sonic fan. I was just like, that's from the games. Oh my gosh, I know what Prison Island is. And then when Shadow is like attacking the guards, and he does the Shadow the Hedgehog, like 2005, like game animation where he does like the kick and the thing, and he teleports behind the soldiers, like that's from that game. You know, there was the Bile Lizard, which actually took me a while to notice, to be honest. It took me a minute, because I heard it was in the movie, but it took me a minute to spot it. Also the Eggman theme, like the ba ba da la la da, like that one. They played that when the Eclipse Cannon was like coming out of the river or whatever. They also, I mean, the Eclipse Cannon is from the games. I I mean, it's a lot smaller in the movie than it is in the games, but I was really excited when like even like the interior of the Eclipse cannon in the movie looked like it does in the games, and the like when they accidentally like hit the moon. I thought that was a funny callback to the games. And then like when Dr. Robotnik has his last message to Stone, and it's kind of like a play or a riff on the he's pissing on the moon, that part, you know, the message he does in the game, but everybody always, you know, references the I'm pissing on the moon, ha ha ha. Anyway, I find it kind of obnoxious, though. I do love those. I do love the fan dubs, but I'm kind of like I've heard it so many times now. I also kind of feel like I feel like this movie really is. It's almost like the perfect video game adaptation. I remember when the Mario movie came out and everybody loved it, and to be honest, I was kind of just like, it's just okay. Like, I felt like the Mario movie, I mean, it was cool and it was fun to see that kind of like those childhood characters on the big screen. But that movie felt a lot more just like things happening in a sequence rather than like a plot or like a story. It kind of just felt like, here's this thing, and then here's that thing, and then here's this other thing. It kind of felt like, oh, look, this is from the games, and this is from the games, and this is from the game, and then the movie was over. You know, that's kind of how I felt watching the Mario movie, which, you know, was fine. I mean, I eat up fan service. Like, you know, I mean, when the DK rap song came on, I was pretty into that, and you know, but also I felt like, you know, because it was an Illumination movie, like the freaking top 40 songs that kept playing, like Take On Me and whatever else they had, I can't remember, I haven't watched that in a while. But I specifically remember when Take On Me came on, I just like kind of groaned in my seat. I was like, come on. Like, do we really need the top 40 songs to be in the Mario movie? Like, is Mario not enough to sell it? Like, why do we have to kind of try to be like, hey, come watch the movie, it has top 40 songs in it? I don't know. And also, you know, the celebrity voices, it's like, oh, it's got Jack Black in it. Doesn't that make you want to see the Mario movie? Like, what's the frickin' Mario movie? Everybody's gonna see the Mario movie because it's Mario. But, you know, that's just what Illumination does, so, you know, what do you expect? Though I will say, hearing about the Zelda movie being live action and being directed by, like, the same guys who made, I don't remember what it was, but, like, the Morbius movie or something, and, like, a bunch of just really bad movies. And also just like, I don't know, I'm a little wary about the Zelda movie. I feel like it's going to probably not be that great, at least compared to the Sonic movie, which is a lot more faithful to the source material. I feel like, who's texting me right now? I just feel like the Zelda movie is probably going to be, it's going to have a lot of lines like this sword can only be wielded by a master, and it's like, oh, it's like some kind of master sword? Like, yeah, it's the master sword. Get it? You know, there's gonna be a lot of moments like that. I wouldn't be surprised actually if they do the "excuse me, princess." Like, they might actually reference that as like fan service, but it might actually kind of come off as just like really obnoxiously like bad writing, you know, like the kind of Avengers like quippy kind of dialogue. I feel like if Link talks too much in the movie, like if he never shuts up and always makes quips and stuff, that is officially when the Zelda movie is like, alright, like this isn't this isn't gonna be very faithful to the source material, because Link doesn't talk. At least he doesn't talk very often. He's not a talkative person, you know. I feel like I can't wait for there to be a line like, oh, this is the force of free goddesses or something. And they're gonna be like some kind of Triforce? Get it? You know, or like we're sending Link to the past or something like that. Like, or you're a warrior of Hyrule. Like a Hyrule warrior? Like the game? Hyrule Warriors? Get it? You know, I feel like that's gonna, yeah, that's I don't have high hopes for the Zelda movie. But who knows, it might blow me away. It might exceed my expectations, but for now, it kind of looks like the Sonic movie is going to be #1 in the movie video game adaptations tier list. And by the way, sorry, I'm interjecting one more time. And by the way, I remember back when I was in like middle school, I remember like going on Miiverse and shit, and like I remember saying stuff like, oh, like, you know, if there's ever a Zelda movie, blah 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 blah. And I remember like I remember you'd get made fun of and shut down immediately if you ever suggested there being a Zelda movie, and like people would be like, oh, that video is fake, because there was like some Zelda movie video that someone made, and people would be like, that's never gonna happen. So I'm just saying, I mean, I'm not bitter about it, but I was here first in this boat. Like, I was talking about a Zelda movie way before it was cool, and you know, nobody ever thought when I was in middle school and stuff, when I was talking about it, nobody ever thought there was ever gonna be a Zelda movie, and that just kind of it's just funny to me that now it's like, I don't know, it's just so different now. Going back to Sonic, the first time I watched it, I actually missed the second post-credit scene because I didn't know there was one, but I stayed for the first one, and oh my god, I actually screamed in the theater. I was like, no! Oh my gosh! You know, when it was Metal Sonic, that was like, oh my gosh. And then Amy came out, and I died in the theater. And I mean, it was mostly like, I was at the matinee, so it was mostly like little kids. So I'm just like screaming with excitement along with all of the children, and you know, the whole movie, I feel like I was getting like weird looks from other adults or like parents being like, why is this grown man so excited about the Sonic movie? And I'm just like, look, man, I grew up on these games, alright? But see, the only thing that I'm not excited for, and this doesn't have to do with the movies itself, but actually with the people who are going to watch it, you just know, because Amy was kind of portrayed as like confident and self-sufficient character, you just know that they're going to be pitchforks and torches being like, Amy's she's too strong, independent woman. She can't be that, or something. You know that there's going to be 1,000 videos called "We Need to Talk About the Amy Problem" or something like that, and they're all going to be up in arms about how Amy uses her hammer too much, or she wears pants, or something, or like she fights too much. She's a woman. She can't do that. I'm not excited for that uproar, which I'm sure is already happening because people are like, oh, she's in the clip, she's fighting. That's the woke agenda. Blah 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 blah. Boo hoo. I'm portraying both sides of the argument very fairly, if you can't tell. But I just like, why can't we just enjoy something because it's awesome? And like, why do we have to constantly critique every movie that comes out? Like, why can't we just enjoy movies? Like remember when movies would come out and we hated them just because they were bad and like not because of anything else? Like, those were good times. I miss those days, but I'm on a tangent. So yeah, I'm super stoked. I feel like if Jim Carrey doesn't come back as Eggman, I feel like the main villain is definitely going to be Metal Sonic. I mean, who else would it be? Because, I mean, I feel like that's it. I mean, I don't know who. I don't know how else they would do it. Maybe if they had like Eggman from another dimension or something, I guess, and it's like a different actor. Or, I mean, who knows? I feel like Jim Carrey is probably down to do another Sonic movie. I bet, but like, I just don't know how they would explain like Dr. Robotnik like coming back to life. So like, I don't know, maybe they'd be like, oh, I'm Eggman from another dimension or something, and I'm the one who didn't die, I guess, or something like that. But if Jim Carrey doesn't come back, it's definitely gonna be Metal Sonic, and I'm calling that right now. And I'm also excited to see, because it looks like, I mean, if you're gonna introduce Amy and Metal Sonic, they both come from Sonic CD, so I'm interested to see how they kind of adapt Sonic CD, and I'm kind of really hoping, actually, that we get to see more Sonic worlds, like, kind of introduce more Sonic-y things, you know, because, I mean, Earth is, you know, it's whatever, but, you know, I've been on Earth, I've seen it, it's kind of I kind of feel like we could do more than that. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, like, oh, well, the CGI is expensive, and, you know, it's easier to do live action. I actually think not. I feel like they're going, like, it would be a lot cheaper to do the CGI than live action, because you don't have to do sets, and you don't have to have live action actors as much, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they probably would still show up in the movie, but like, you don't have to worry about set design okay, you still have to do set design, but you don't have to like do physical like live action sets and stuff. It can just be 3D rendered on the computer. So I don't know, I feel like it could possibly be a lot less expensive to do mostly CGI, and I would love to see that, because I go to a Sonic movie to see Sonic-y things. I don't really care so much about the human stuff, though I do feel like there is a case for humans in the Sonic world, because I feel like since there is like humans in Sonic Adventure 2, which is my favorite game, it kind of makes me more okay with humans being in the Sonic world, because I feel like they can play a role. I mean, I think with the right balance. I mean, I don't want it to be all humans like in the first Sonic movie, but I also don't really want there to be no humans. I feel like, I don't know, the Sonic world, it can have humans in it, and I feel like, I don't know, in some of the recent games where there aren't any humans, it kind of feels a little bit like there's something missing a little bit, like there's no gun or, you know, the whatever stuff like Prison Island and all that, and I don't know. It just feels like there is a place for that, and I just feel like they haven't maybe been done as well as they could be. Speaking of the humans, I kind of see, I understand why they have Tom and Maddie in the movie, I understand why those characters exist. You know, because I don't know, it kind of, I feel like they're trying to appeal to the parents and being like, oh, here's these characters that aren't these dumb furry kid characters that you don't care about. I feel like I mean, I don't know. I think they're fine as characters, but I don't really love the parent dynamic. It kind of feels a little weird to me. It feels weird to me that like Sonic and friends are like the children of these human characters. I mean, they're not literally, but it just feels kind of awkward, and I don't know. Like in the second movie at the end, when Sonic when Sonic is just like, thanks, Dad. That was the only time in the second movie, when I watched it, where I was just like, ew, I don't like that. That's really, really weird. I don't want, something about Sonic calling someone dad is so weird. It's so fanfiction-y and awkward and kind of gross sounding. I'm not the only one who felt like that, right? Like, I'm not the only one who felt kind of like weirded out by that. I don't know, and I think, you know, I think James Marsden is fine, and I don't remember who plays. I don't remember the name of the lady who plays Maddie, but I kind of sometimes feel like she kind of overacts a little bit, like kind of overacts the character. Kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the human characters are a little bit like too much. Sometimes like they're very like, I'm the character in a movie and I'm acting, kind of thing, you know? It's just like, I don't know. But Jim Carrey though is awesome as Eggman. I feel like I could watch Jim Carrey's Eggman all day. He does play the character different. I mean, I think just the character is written differently than he is in the games. Like, you know, Jim Carrey's Eggman is definitely not like the same Eggman as in the games. But that's also kind of true about most of the characters, to be honest. Like, they're definitely kind of separate characters from the ones in the games. You know, again, I'll talk more about Sonic in another video. But with that, I think I've ran out of things to say. So tell me what you thought of the Sonic movie. Was it good? Was it bad? What did you think? I loved it. I died in the theater, and I was just, it was Christmas joy. I was filled with Christmas joy in that theater. It was the best Christmas present I could ever receive. But tell me what you guys thought. I loved it, but I would love to hear more thoughts and commentary. But with that, I will probably see you guys next time. Bye-bye.